Hello and welcome to the Red Thread Knitting Podcast. Welcome and welcome back to this knitting channel. My name is Elin and we are still in Luxembourg. I have changed my view a bit. My background is a bit different than the last time. I hope that the lights are better and also that the colors are better than the last episode. We work with trial and error here. So this is actually the second time I record this. I recorded it last weekend. Today is January 28th. It's always so difficult to say. 28. I recorded once last weekend and I was hoping to get it out during this week, but I found out that my phone had locked itself on a focus very close, so it seemed I was out of focus in almost an hour, which could not be fixed. I don't know how to. So I will do this again, and hey, probably better, because I'll probably be a bit shorter about things. Yeah. Today we have 4 finished objects to talk about, and we have 4 works in progress. And I also have some acquisitions and some things that I got for Christmas to show you in the end. Let's begin with what I am wearing. Today I'm wearing this yellow, almost a bit orange sweater. You might recognize this as the Ingrid Sweater by PetiteKnit. It's an absolutely wonderful sweater to wear. It's very oversized and it was a big job, but also such a big pleasure to knit it. I'll show you. So you start with the back side, and as you may see, we have an ordinary 2x2 rib here, but if I turn around you will see that the same board is not really 2x2 rib, because it's a cable instead. That's because I saw someone else having done that and I was so inspired, because I think for me that's a super personal thing. I thought it got a bit plain and straight and sharp in a way with the 2x2 rib, and I really like the way that this cable melts in together with the other nice sections, if you say. So that's the one hack that I made. I also did another change to the pattern because I couldn't help myself. So if you look at the pictures that PetiteKnit has posted for this pattern, it shows the garment laying down on a bed, and then you can see that the border, the boards, the panels, we can say it's different panels, different different shapes, that they lay in line, that the arms, the sleeves are in line with the body. But when you look at the pictures where people actually wear this sweater, you can see that that is not the case, because the panels on the arm is not in line with the panels on the body. And I took that as a challenge to try and make it in line for actually wearing the sweater. And I think I succeeded quite well. I'll show you again. So this is me just relaxing. We have this panel here, and we have the okay, it's not super perfectly in line, but at least almost. It's also because my sleeve is not as long as my body. My body's longer, so I had to do something to make it all fit in one sleeve. So what I did was to just start with this section instead of, I don't remember what they do in the pattern. It's something else, but I started with this, and I would say it worked out fine. I like this. I'm super pleased and proud of myself to being able to fix this. Although the one thing, as you may see when I stand up here, is that this part of the sleeve where my elbow is, this is my elbow, is kind of reminding me of, the bikers' jackets with the protection thing for the elbow, because it's a bit poofy right there. I don't know if you could perhaps do something, or if it's just the way this kind of structure behaves. But if that's what you get to pay to get the sections in line, I'm all up for it. So the yarn that I used, I actually bought some merino yarn just to use for, I wanted to use just merino and no mohair for this, because I wanted something super smooth, and sometimes mohair is tickling me. And I had no such sweater before. So I bought a yarn from Rosy Green Wool, a merino yarn in the color Sunflower. I think it's discontinued now, but I bought it, and when it arrived I saw that this is not my color. It doesn't work for me and my colors. So I eventually just realized I'll try to fit it with a mohair, and I'll pop a picture. You can see the two different yarns separately. And this mohair I bought from Bichet Bouche. It's a very golden color, and it worked out so well with this. I really like this kind of cloudberry color that it turned out to be. So this is this. Yeah. And yeah, I wear this a lot. I think it's a beautiful piece, and it's super cozy. Though since it's mohair, I usually wear it with a long sleeve t-shirt underneath. So that is that. I will now talk a bit about my finished objects. So the last time I recorded was actually November. It has been, that's my church. It was November and it is now, January. So it's been a while. I knit so much on my Christmas gifts. And it's a beautiful thing to make Christmas gifts. I would say it's a gift of, it's a token of your love to someone when you knit something for them. For me, it's so nice to make something that I've chosen for a certain person, and it makes me think a lot about this. I think a lot about this person when I create the project. And all of my Christmas gifts are, of course, delivered. No, not delivered, but I gave it to them. So the first one you've seen, the start of, it was this red hat, and I made it in this tweed yarn, fingering held double, and I made the antler-toque by PetiteKnit. And what I learned from that project and that finished hat is something I've heard before, but I really, really have experienced it now, that when you knit cables, the garment shrinks. The cables are totally pulling the hat together, and it got quite small. Luckily we could block it out, and it does work, I think, for the person I gave it to. Well, lesson learned. It got super pretty, and I have some pictures. You've probably already seen them. My second gift was a hipster hat that I made with the blue yarn that was the same kind of yarn as the red yarn, but a blue colorway. And I have never made the hipster hat before, so that was a new experience. I thought it would not be as difficult as it could be, because it's a 2x2 ribbed hat. But it has a really nice top of the hat, and I was curious to see how to make that. Here we could talk a bit about what I am educated in, working with plain language, and the thing that people who read your text should be able to understand what it says, and should not be able to do something wrong. Because it happened to me. I usually don't read through a big, okay, this is only a hat, but I don't read through all of the pattern before I start to knit, because I shouldn't need to, I think, but mostly because for me it gets a bit overwhelming to read all the information, because I cannot understand it until I'm there with my knitting, at that point where I will start to do the next thing. So I usually don't read through all of it. And in this pattern, I look at the PDF, and it says on the end of one side to start decrease as like this, and then you get the instructions for how to decrease. If it's such an if it's such a stitch, you need to do it like that, and if it's such a stitch, you need to do it like that. So I did, and then when I thought, now it seems like it's almost done, it's not very many stitches left, I changed the page, and on the top of the next page it says, these decreases are supposed to be made every second round. And I had of course made it every round because it didn't say anything else. You can always say that's my problem. I didn't read through the pattern enough, and sure, but as a producer of a text, you want the recipient to be happy, to understand, to not feel like you're dumb, and because if the reader is happy, the producer is happy. That's how it works. Because if I like this pattern, I will talk good about it, and it will make other people wanting to try it out. Or if I don't talk to people about it, at least I have a good feeling about it, and I might actually prefer this producer in the next time I will buy a pattern. I don't mean to rant about a certain producer, because this is just what happened to me right now. It happens a lot, I think, because people who produce text doesn't have this, doesn't necessarily have this information. And it's such an important thing to think about when you produce something, that it's not supposed to be, the knitter is not supposed to be able to do something wrong. It would have been so easy to help and not have this problem. Anyway, my hat, just as the other hat, I didn't have time to rip it out, so I just finished it with decreases on every round, and it goes super okay. I mean, I don't think the recipient will think about this. I've learned it though. I will probably remember next time, so that's a good thing about it. Okay, next thing. I made 2 pairs of slippers, and the pattern is the Doble Tofler by Sandnes Garn. I had never made this pattern before, and it's a written pattern that is quite simple, but yeah, not as easy to get my head around before I've made the first one, right? So some things that I want to talk about with this pattern, I'll show you. One, I've gifted the one pair in the brown colorway. I had the Fritidsgarn by Sandnes Garn as well, and I actually have the second pair here because I had to rip it up and do it again. And this is how it looks before. So I will sew this together and it will become a slipper. And this is supposed to be felted in the washing machine as well. The thing with this, several things. I am usually a loose knitter, and this pattern says to use a 5.5 5mm needle. I didn't have that, so I thought, good, I'll try the 5.0mm needle, because I'm always a loose knitter. So I tried that, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. It got very tight, and it also got super short and small. So I bought a new needle to use for this, a 5.5mm, and it got the texture is perfectly fine, I would say. I haven't seen any else, but now that it's finished, I can say that I still get too tight gauge. These are not as broad as they should be, and they are definitely not as tall as they should be. So what I want to give to you is some more information if you want to try to make this yourself. For me, I think I should knit it with 6.0. I don't have that either, so I won't. But you're supposed to have, I think, wait a second. Okay, you're supposed to have 15 stitches per 10 centimeters, and I have 16, and that is okay, but not enough. Well, it will work. I'll make it work. I hope you can just felt it a bit shorter. What the pattern doesn't say, though, is how many rounds per 10 centimeters you should have. And I do not have the correct amount, because mine is, as I said, too short. But what I have is 23 rounds per 10 centimeters. And you should have less. That's always something, right? Less than 23 rounds per 10 centimeters, of course. So how we knit this is, you knit this as the bottom, and then you knit 2 feet that goes together like this. And then we finish off with knitting the end together, and then we have the slipper, and we knit together the holes here, or sew together. I'll show you. And since I'm always cold, and this is it's a cold floor where I live, I've started a new pair for me, but I'm so freaking tired of knitting these slippers, because I've made, I think, 6 of them almost already, but I ripped 2 of them out. So I started with this nice color in fritidsgarn. All right, the last but not least Christmas gift that I produced was the socks that I showed you the last time, the gray and blue socks from Arne & Carlos Perfect edition. I finished those for my dad, and on the banner of the yarn. It says you can knit up to, I think, size 46. But I was trying to make size 45, although this should be said, I probably didn't have exactly the right gauge, but I had to use every single part of the yarn, except for the yellow parts, of course, because that would have been quite strange. But I had to, when it was time to sew the last toe, I had to, cut. I had to cut the yarn that I had from my cast on and use for the toe. So I really used all of it for size 45. But they turned out fine. I will definitely consider making another pair with that kind of yarn. I will, though, probably use a smaller needle for it. I use now 2.25 on 9-inch circular needles, but I listened to the Crazy Sock Lady, and she actually says that when she knits with the 9-inch circular, she has to use a smaller needle, so 2.0, to get gauge, because she knits looser when she used that, and that is probably the case for me as well. So I have now wished for and got some 2.0, which I will show you soon, actually. And soon being right now. Let's go on to the whips. I had to try these super duper tiny needles out, and I took some yarn that I found when I was back home in Sweden, in my stash. I got this beautiful colorway, this beautiful yarn from Limo Design in the colorway Arga kycklingens dagdrömmar. That is the angry chicken's daydreams, the daydreams of the angry chicken, which I made this sock with. And I use a yellow contrast color from Arvetta Filcolana in the colorway 200. And it gets super happy, doesn't it? I'm all about yellow right now, obviously, and blue. You will see more blue later. Yeah, Swedish colors and Ukrainian colors. Yeah, this is just the vanilla sock. Not much more to say. Last time I was a bit last time I talked about the basically using the 2.0 is quite fine. No problems there. All right. We have another tiny knit. Tiny, it's not tiny. Well, this I knit with the 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circular needles, and this is hand warmers. It's mittens from a pattern made by Hagenhuset. And this is the fingering version. I've previously made the DK version for my mom, but I would really prefer some for when I work. And this is the yarn. It's a super cozy, soft alpaca yarn, of which I do not actually have the label here. I'll try to find it and tell you if you want to know. I started the second one, but I have a problem, and that being that this yarn is 50 grams, and this one is, I think, 23 grams, as it is, perhaps a bit less because I weighed it with the markers, but I don't think I will have enough, because I will also have to make the thumb, right? So either I buy one more and use super little piece from that, or I rip some out from this one to make the complete two. I'll have to work on that decision. Okay, something more fun. Okay, this is fun. Everything is fun. The first thing I started to knit on as a garment on this knitting road of knitting every day in 2 years now. I actually celebrated 2 years as a knitter in the beginning of January. I haven't celebrated that as much as I should have. 2 years knitting every day. It's not difficult. You can also always knit something. Anyway, the first thing that I did was a holiday slipover. So I made a slipover chunky knits, and I really like to wear that and use it, and since then I've liked the thought of having more vests or slipovers, and I've been kind of dreaming of a blue one, and I wanted to try to make a V-neck, and I really, actually, when I started to make this one, I really wanted to make something more in this structure pattern, and this is the structure pattern that I really like, and this is the back side of my new vest, and this is the front. I am now knitting the two front pieces that will go together later, quite soon actually. This is the Friday slipover by PetiteKnit, and the yarn is, I have it here. The yarn is 2 yarns held together, of course a mohair, because I still haven't made something that is not with mohair. The Bichet Bouche mohair in this lovely color, color dark blue turquoise. Le Petit silk mohair. And this is Bichet Bouche Le Petit lamb's wool that I hold together. And yeah, it makes quite a nice feeling. The thing with this mohair, though, I don't know if it's just what I've been knitting on right now, but it got like plumps. It's not a super fluffy all the way. It's quite a plumpy mohair yarn. I don't remember that I thought that of the mohair that's in this one, because it's the same. I bought them at the same time actually. But yeah, it's not the furriest and softest mohair that I've tried. But just so you know, if you want to try it yourself. The last work in progress is actually also a Christmas gift, but not for this last Christmas, actually from the previous Christmas, because then I gave my boyfriend a gift card of making him a sweater, and we've been working on it off and on for a year. I've been showing him some different patterns, and he got to look at everything on Ravelry and we've been discussing what kind of yarn he would like and such. So when I went home for Christmas, we met up in Copenhagen. And if you go to Copenhagen, you need to go to the yarn stores, because they are beautiful. It's the best. Yeah. If you ever go there, take a look in whichever yarn shop and you will not be disappointed. So we went there together and we had this plan of knitting him an Agnes sweater patterned by Camilla Vad. I think she is a Danish designer. And we found some yarns. Wait for it. This is a pattern with many colors. It's colorwork yoke that we start off with, and we are using this as the body color, the color of the body later. So this is Pura Lana, 50% wool, 50% alpaca, so it's quite fluffy, as you might see. By Jepard. I think Jepard is, okay, it says made in Italy. Isn't Jepard Danish? Okay, I'll leave that unsaid. So this is the body. I haven't gotten there yet. This is contrast color, and then we have these beauties to work with in the yoke. So we have 716, 738, and this is our favorite, so beautiful color, and 748. Did I say what this is? No, 540 and 580. Here we go. And what will we make of these then? This is how far I've got. It's a start. It's not very much yet, but it's a start. So this is how the black and the turquoise works together. And what I learned knitting this, I had to of course rip some out again, is that when you knit color work, you need to hold the strands, the one face closer to you and the other one not closer to you, right? So the one that is closer to you should always be closer to you, because it makes a difference in how the colors pop. What I did initially think when I read the pattern and when I started working, I thought that I should hold the color, the blue one, closer to me to make it pop. But that didn't turn out as it should, because in this pattern the black stripes are supposed to be the colors that contrast basically the other colors. So I had to rip it out because it was looking like, yeah, strange. I also had a problem with the increases, but I basically just tried to make it in a way, and now I have to work with that. If someone else have tried to make this, please let me know. Tell me what you thought, and if you had some bumps on the road that you might want to let others know about, and to know how to avoid them. When we are here, I might as well start to chat about the acquisitions and the gifts. I got this beautiful bag. How nice. I don't know what it's called. I probably do, but I don't have it on top of my head. But in Swedish it's smultron, and this is the most summery things you can get. And it's from the shop called Knitterbag. Knitterbag.com. I bought it. I happen to know that this is from Etsy. Love that. That's where the Agnes Sweater lives right now. I also got, sorry about the sound. I also got a knitting journal, and this is from Hobby. But it's very nice. It's very nice. It has these different lines for the pattern and the yarn and the designer and the colorway and knit intention. The only sad thing is that it actually broke the first thing when I got it. It's the lim lossnade. I also wished for some knitting markers. And this one I didn't wish for. I've been a bit skeptical about this, but now that I got one, this is a neck light, and it's right behind you, but it's totally blocked here, so I cannot reach it. But this is a neck light with 2 LED lights that I can focus on my knitting with. Super good, actually. I can recommend that. And last but not least, I went to Christmas market here in this tiny lovely village where I live, and they had these handmade bags that made me so happy. I'll show you. So this is handmade, and this is what I'm now bringing to work now that it's almost spring, right? Lovely colors, and another lovely green here inside. It's a pity, I do not know who made it, because it doesn't say. But I love it and I cherish it. Okay, so now we're at the acquisitions part. And I bought some Nutiden yarn. I'm still a patron, so the shop was open for a couple of hours in the super early morning of a late December day, and it happened to be just the same day that I was taking the trains home from Luxembourg to Sweden, or actually to Copenhagen, where we spent a night. But that day I went up at 4:30 because I had to catch a bus to get to the train station, and I got to the train station approximately 5:30, and that was when the shop opened. So when it turned 5:30, I went online. I purchased, I had a garment in mind that I wanted to make with this certain color that I will show you very soon. And I figured I will need quite a lot of yarn to make this big sized sweater. And so I purchased 500 grams and 300 grams. But when I got to the end to pay, the 500 gram bags were already sold out. So that did not take many minutes. Crazy thing. So I had to rethink, and I got 300 grams bags instead. And this is how it looks. This is the very yarn that I dream of making a very nice big sweater with. It's called blåljus, and it means blue lights in Swedish. And I love the smell of this yarn. I always love the smell of this yarn. This is how it looks. So I have 900 grams of this, and I also got a Lucky Charm bag. That means you get some random colors and sometimes a mixed two colors in one, like this one. So I got this. I don't know what the color is, but yeah. I got this, which is the purple one that I got the last time. That's up there. And this one is their new yarn, the colorway Sticka, I think they call it now. It's a bit, I would say it's a very peachy color. And yeah, here's another one. I actually got one more piece, but I also got this. Oh, which color is this? It's good to have more. Always good to have more. I already opened one to try and use, and I'll talk more about that next time, I think. So yeah, nice things. And I love the smells of this. I can smell it all day. Just walk past here and feel the lovely smell of the Nutiden yarn. I love it. That's all about that. Actually, I received a very nice message this week. So yeah, I when I recorded it the last time, this episode, the last week, I didn't know that, but now I know that I actually got approved of to stay 3 more months at the European Parliament. We got to apply for extension of the traineeship, and my unit wanted to apply for me, which was very nice, and I got approved. So I will be seeing the spring here in Luxembourg as well. Now I will stay here until the end of May, actually. So that's very fun. I will get to work until until the elections of the European Parliament's new election year. Yeah, which is in the beginning of June. So don't forget to vote. Anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening all of this. I'm sorry if I've been a bit off today. I've been a bit off this weekend. Okay, thank you for today and have a nice day. Happy knitting. Take care. I'll see you next time.